Before trying to understand what is the ancient Indian architecture called as Vastu Shastra and the Chinese architecture called as Feng Shui, we will try to understand modern architecture. Nowadays, how they are building buildings, they are using reinforced cement concrete. So first they are digging big pits in the earth to make foundation. So earth element is involved. Then they are using steel to complete the skeleton of the building, RCC structure, and that is called as reinforced cement concrete. Steel is basically metal. It also comes from mines, minerals. Basically, iron is converted to steel. Then concrete means cement and stones. They are mixed and put into that pillars and beams made of steel. So cement and concrete means again earth element. Then water is required to mix that RCC or cement concrete. So water element is there. After few hours, the pillars and beams will dry and become concrete, means very hard. And then construction activities start. Bricks are used. Bricks are also made of earth. Then plastering, again cement. Then windows come. Windows may be made of metal, doors may be made of metal or wood. So metal and wood come. Then interior they may be using glass or aluminium for sliding. It may be coated or not coated. So basically earth element, metal element to making doors and windows, wood or metal, glass. Glass is a supercooled liquid. Glass is a supercooled liquid. So these elements are used in modern technology. Even previously, local materials were used. Whatever local stones, local bricks, local mud, bamboos, means wood, different types of trees. So local material is the best material. It is cheap also, cost effective. Also, while building any building or construction, activities also matter. If it is a school, the building will be different. If it is a college, the building will be different. If it is a university or industry, if it is a hospital, if it is a stadium, if it is a theater. So design of the building depends upon what you are going to do inside that building. Secondly, seasons also matter. So if you have heavy rainfall, the buildings will be different. If you have heavy snowfall, buildings will be different. If you have desert, the exterior will be different. See, because of different seasons, the exterior of the building will change because it has to take on the season, whether desert or rain or storm or whatever. So day-to-day activity, early morning, evening, afternoon, night activities, seasonal activities. With respect to season also, human activity varies. Like with respect to daytime and nighttime, our activity varies worldwide. Majority of the things are common. So, day-night activities are different, seasonal activities are different. Depending on that, our construction will vary. Then there is the element of fire, earth, air, water and sky. Air is required for everyone, for everything. Without air we can't survive. So cross ventilation is important in any building. Water is also important. If water is not there, everything will stop. Air and water is basic. Without that you cannot do any activity. So in ancient times, we used to build buildings near rivers or lakes so that accessibility of water is easy. Nowadays water comes from taps. We build dams, we have got water reservoirs, and from there it comes to our taps. In tall buildings also. So this fire element, earth element, fire, earth, air, water and sky. Sky means light. Lighting is also essential because in ancient times there was no electricity. So natural light was to be used properly and perfectly. So directions where your house faces, whether east or west, north or south mattered because sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So for optimum use of light, we have to build buildings facing east and west, so that early morning light is also there and late evening light also we get, natural light by the sun. Also, seasons matter. Like what we do in specific room is fixed. Like in bedroom we sleep, in our hall we will meet people, talk with people, we will socialize. In kitchen we will prepare food. In guest room, guest will sleep. Children's room will be different. Entertainment room will be there if you are rich enough. So what you do in a room is fixed. Similarly, where that room should be is also fixed. For example, in hall we want to meet people, so we will be sitting, talking. Maybe dining room will be also there. We will be eating, drinking, making merry, parties, small parties in our house. So hall has to be active element. We should enjoy and feel good also. Enjoying and feeling good also. So that is a happy element. Here you are enjoying also and feeling good also. So it is a mixture of air and water. In the kitchen we prepare food. Kitchen, fire is important, water is important. So fire and water along with air. Air is important everywhere. Without air no room can survive. So fire and water is prominent in kitchen also. Without fire and water you cannot make your food. In bedroom we sleep. So only in European countries or countries where it is very extremely cold, minus temperatures, there are chimneys in bedrooms or maybe in halls also, so that the room is warm. Nowadays we are using heaters. So fire element is not required in bedroom, but air element is required. While sleeping we want peaceful sleep. Oxygen is needed, perfect sleep, relaxed sleep. So bedroom should be located in air element, right? So these are activities. For example, toilet. There we are answering calls of nature and we are detoxifying. So that element is water and earth element. We are throwing out, disposing things. Then we are bathing also. So water element is prominent in toilets, and earth element, dirty elements. Smelling is there. So we use different types of fragrances so that the room is clean and feels fresh. So we have discussed about which room what we are doing and which room requires which element prominently. For studying, supposing if you have a study room, see, this I am assuming that more or less we are middle class or rich. There are many people who are homeless. Of course, I am not making fun of them. There are many people who are poor, who don't have one room also. But that is their destiny. What can we do? Government can help them, and we can try and help whenever possible. This I am assuming we are privileged. We have different rooms to do different activities. And of course, the rich and famous people, they will have villas or palaces. Let us not compare with them. So assuming that we are privileged enough to have different rooms for different activities, fire, earth, air, water and sky, depending on that, our different rooms will have different directions. Because see, fire requires air. Fire cannot survive without oxygen. Ancient times, wood was required for fire. Now we have gas. There was a time when there was stove also, and different times. But initial fire source was wood. Wood comes from trees. Trees grow on earth. Trees require water. Water comes from the sky, clouds. The clouds come from the sea. It is a cycle. So rain will fall, water will get wet, tree will feed on water, then it will give us leaves, fruits and wood also. So that is a cycle, interdependent cycle. But one architectural method, see, where there is heavy rains, you can't build buildings like if there are heavy snowing. Snow is different, heavy snow is different, heavy rain is different. So construction, exterior construction will differ. So in different countries, we will have to build buildings in different manners. Same construction is not possible because climate will destroy that. So as far as Vastu Shastra is concerned, see that climatic conditions of the country are dependent upon the climate of that country. It is dependent upon where water bodies are present, where mountains are present, how the airs flow, what is the climatology of that country. See, for example, I will stick to my country or our country, which is India, Vastu Shastra. North India is full of mountains. Northeast of India, Nepal, Bhutan, we have the Himalayas and the Himalayan ranges and the sub-Himalayan ranges. Northeast, where Cherrapunji is there, in the world heaviest rainfall, 1000 millimeters per day, daily. So Himalaya and the Himalayan ranges, they feed rivers when they are melting, and these rivers is the main water source of our country. From the Himalayas, the water will flow down. Of course, below also we have got tributaries and different rivers. They are fed by the monsoon. They are rain rivers. They are there naturally, but rain will feed them. The Himalayas don't feed them. But Himalayan rivers are different. The Sapta Sindhus, 7 ancient rivers of India, fed by the Himalayas. They come from the Himalayas, go to the northeast and the northwest. In the northeast, these rivers will go to the Bay of Bengal. In the northwest, they will go to the Arabian Sea. The scene in northeast is the Himalayan scene. Then in the east or the southeast, we have the Bay of Bengal. Okay, east is the place of rising sun everywhere, so it is the fire element, direction of fire. Northeast or north, Himalayas or the Himalayan ranges, they provide us with snow, ice-capped mountains and Himalayan fed rivers. So that is our water source for north and northeast. Northwest direction is considered as air direction. Why? Northwest we have got Afghanistan, Pakistan, Gujarat, Rajasthan. These are all deserts. When you go further northwest, Uzbekistan, which is connected to Russia nearly, means when you go farther. So northwest frontier of India is totally desert region, hot and arid. It is very hot and very dry. 50 degrees centigrade temperatures may be there at times. So that is the air element. We have got northwestern winds, northeastern winds for the winter. Then in our country we have southwest monsoon, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea. Southwest is Arabian Sea. Bay of Bengal is in the east and southeast. So in the Arabian Sea, southwest monsoons will form, wet monsoon. Winter rains is northeasterlies, dry monsoon. So starting with the southwest, we go to the northeast, from wet to dry monsoon. That is the cycle. So in the southwest further we have got Maldives of India. Southeast we have got Sri Lanka. So south, because total south of India, southwest of India and southeast of India, we can see we have got the Indian Ocean, it is ocean. So that is called as southwest, right? Direction of death, because it is sea only. We are not designed to survive in the sea. South is the direction of Yama, god of death. Then why southeast is fire element? Look carefully. Southeast we have got Andaman and Nicobar. Active volcano in our country, only active volcano is in Andaman and Nicobar, southeast of India. Further southeast if you will go, we have got the Pacific Ring of Fire. Means Java, Sumatra, Indonesia, they are volcanic belts. Java, Sumatra, Indonesia are famous for active volcanoes. So southeast of India in Andaman and Nicobar, we have fire element in the form of volcanoes. Then further down southeast, we have got Java, Sumatra, Indonesia. These islands, they are famous for volcanoes only. So north is water element, northeast is water element, east is fire element, southeast is fire element, south is earth, southwest is earth, right? Northwest is air, deserts, and again north is mountains, waters. Air is everywhere. There is no place in any direction, if air is not there, we are dead. So we will assume air is a constant thing all over the earth. But more air is in the forest, more air is in gardens, more air is in open spaces. In enclosed spaces the air is less, it can be damp, humid. So therefore we have got, when we have given specific directions, specific elements, like I said, ki north is water, northeast is water, east is fire. It depends upon what we have in our country at that specific, in that specific direction. All these directions on a large scale macrocosm, we have fire, earth, air, water and sky. Sky is the element, means light. Therefore, these different directions are given specific elements because they are directly connected to the sources which are available in our country, from where water comes. As this is an ancient science, and that time we did not have electricity or motor pumps to pump water or to have air in that sense. We had no air conditioners, no heaters. So we had to use natural flowing airs, natural flow of airs from southwest to northeast, northwesterlies, northeasterlies. So these winds were harnessed by those ancient architects and civil engineers. So many people say, why you are giving specific element to specific direction? What is the logic? The logic is all these elements are present in those directions, and therefore those directions are given those elements. And if you build with respect to that, you are in nature, you are in harmony with nature. That is important. So it was a sort of, nowadays people talk green. They are declared as environmentalist. They call themselves. Of course, it is good, but that is what our ancient architecture did. They tried to remain in harmony with nature. They always said ki keep distance. See, our ancient Vastu Shastra and even Feng Shui in China, they always said, let nature be, keep distance from nature, live and let live. Don't destroy mountains, don't destroy rivers, don't destroy trees, don't destroy forests. Live in harmony with nature. Because it is a cycle. You destroy one thing, you are destroyed. Everything is important. If your one leg is broken, you will start to limp around. So we are a integral part of nature. We are not owners of the nature. We are not owners of these natural forces, which they have shown us. See, when jungles catch fire, when hurricanes are there, typhoons are there, different storms come, when earthquakes come, nature shows us our place. It tells us that we are not in control. Nature is in control. When volcanoes erupt, when seriously volcanoes erupt, it can cause volcanic winters, which can last for 6 months, 7 months, and sometimes for years. And it can destroy many flora and fauna. Volcanoes have formed our Deccan Plateau, which is the southwest of our country. Deccan Plateau is molten lava, which is later on cools down and becomes stone. And we can study that, how many years old it is, when this happened. So astrological architecture or Chinese Feng Shui, they are same, but they are applicable in their own countries. If you want to apply, say, astrological architecture or Vastu Shastra in Europe, some changes will be required because the climate in other countries is different. So whenever you are using something from one country in another country, ancient wisdom, traditional wisdom, we cannot forget that climatic conditions and exterior conditions of that country are different. Flowers and fruits available are different. Flora and fauna is different. So if we try to remain in harmony with day and night, if you live in a seasonal manner, in a regional manner, eat seasonal food, local food, we are going to be healthy. So astrological architecture means a place for everything and everything in its place. That is discipline. That is nature.